So, you know, and this is only, again, it's not a sophisticated analysis behind it. A kind of, if you would cluster some materials from the existing MBTs, or also packaging waste, you could reduce number of the installation, and you could make it more optimize the processes. Finally, also optimize the operational costs. So, and the second is it would be also needed to discuss about the synergies between the packaging sorting plants and the MSW. So all the modernization facilities, you know, if you see for some trends in Europe, then for example, now in Scandinavia or in Finland, you know, they build one of the biggest packaging sorting plant with a throughput around 100,000 ton. And the second step was to decide about setting up, building the sorting plant, MSW sorting plant, in front of the incineration, in order to sort out. I'm talking now about Stockholm. In order to sort out all the plastics, and the goal is to sort the plastic in the sorting plant which is now prepared or designed for the separate collected packaging waste. So I think to look for synergies, it's very important when you already have such a situation and you are in this development stage where you are. So of course you could do even bigger areas. So again, the scale is really important. You know, 10 years ago, the throughput for separate collected packaging waste, or facilities for separate collected packaging waste in Poland, we discussed something like 2-3 ton. You know, when I go back to that, where I worked for one of the leading plant builder, and we discussed about sorting facilities in something like 15 years ago in Germany. Then the throughput in Germany was between 6 and 8 ton per hours. Now the facilities for separate collected packaging waste, which are designed in Europe, there is 15, 20, and even more ton per hours throughput. Today in Poland, we start to discuss about throughputs between 6 and 8 to 10 ton per hour. So, and there's one facility which is existing with automatization in Lithuania. The throughput would be around 3-5 ton, maybe 5 ton per hour. So scale, it's very important. So to summarize, first of all, it's, of course, it's very important, the demand. So, because if we are, this was also mentioned before, it's not only about how to sort the material out. We need to have the possibility to recycle them. And based on information which I also received from my colleagues then in Europe, if depending on the quality and price, the demand for recyclates can increase to 50% of the virgin material. And if you count this, then we would talk about around 60 million ton per year in Europe. So and of course, in order to do this, you need to sort out the plastic packaging from the different waste stream, not only for separate collected packaging. We need to touch the residual waste. We need to sort out from the commercial waste. We need to sort out from all the potential sources in sources in order to bring it finally to the recycling facilities. And what we did as the TOMRA, we also checked if it's doable to produce polymer recyclates with a quality similar to virgin. And the colleagues from our circular economy team and business development, that at a huge scale trials with different polymers from different countries. They also took some trucks with materials sorted out from the mixed household waste from Poland, from Spain, from different, and Germany, from different countries again, and checked if it's possible to produce the high quality polymer recyclates. And it is proven that it's doable. So that's very important to have this solution. I think we will also in the nearly future see that's the first big investments in Europe in this direction. And when I go back to Lithuania, then, you know, when I see the first pillar, the packaging waste, then of course is the question how upgrade the sorting efficiency and of course increase the throughput. So one topic is concentrate the stream, cluster the stream, and build a new facilities with high efficiency for the packaging. But maybe also would make sense to consider to prepare them for sorting out the packaging coming out from the MBTs. So, but the second possibility is to enable also to sort the existing MBTs, the packaging waste, but only in case they are able to secure the high efficiencies. So when I see the second pillar, the residual municipal waste, then of course, you know, there is, I heard it also many times when it comes about the MBTs in Poland, that was a wrong decision. Why you decided to build the MBTs, the old-fashioned facilities, you know? And I only can say without this technology, we would not be able to reduce the biodegradable waste, what was one of the requirements, which already forgot, or it is already forgotten, most probably, but this was the first goal for the country, reduce the biodegradable waste, which is landfill. So, and there was the decision to build this MBTs, and I think similar in Lithuania. By now, the infrastructure is there, but we see that for the biological part, very often there are very well-designed technology, and you can use them also for treating the separate collection waste. But on the mechanical side, in case of Lithuania, you not really focus on the recyclables when the facility were designed something like 10 years ago, because the target was that the packaging is separate collected. But we see that the world is not really ideal. So we see that the packaging is still in the different stream. There are many reasons for it. And we need to make the, let's say, second generation of the MBTs. And you saw in IVAR, there's the one of the most modern sorting facility worldwide for mixed household waste. And we have some close to them, similar cases in Poland as well now. But and this is exactly the mechanical part for MBTs. So what is maybe worth to think is to analyze is how to modernize the existing sorting facilities, how to increase the efficiency again, and how to focus on the materials for recycling. And maybe also sometimes, because there might be limitation when it comes about buildings and space for doing this, maybe the second option is to design, to build a new sorting plants for use 80 plus, or for the only light fraction after the existing MBTs, which contains a lot of packaging and different material inside. And again, in this case, I would only strongly recommend to discuss how to cluster and how to cooperate between the existing facilities. So, in the challenge, the challenge will be to combine the business, the interest from, and the condition between the different stakeholders, like PROs, like RATs, like the private waste management companies. I have no doubts that will be big challenge. And the second is definitely the financing of the investment and operation. So in particular, sorting out of recyclables from MSW. We heard from the case from Stavanger that the Norwegian PRO pays, if I have it correct in mind, 290 euro for each and every ton of material which they sort out. So I can only give you an example. In Poland, the Polish PRO pays €4 for maybe now 5 for 1 ton sorted out plastic. So we see where we really are, and the need for Lithuania. Yeah, the master plan. It was mentioned at the beginning, you know, that it's the master plan is the preparation, and maybe really makes sense to think a bit wider, really long term, and not only focus on the statistics. Go a bit down to this facility, check the waste streams, and see what is really doable. Because finally, is the question if we want to have in Europe very nice statistics, I would say in Europe, because you know even our German colleagues many for a long time used the so-called mix plastic fraction, which was sent to Asia and was counted as recycling, and it's not true. Huh? It was simply exported. Nobody cared about what's going on. The same happens in Poland today, and most probably also in Lithuania. So the need is the good master plan, and with taking in consideration all the aspects which we see, and of course the agreements between the stakeholders. And I think the strategical decisions are finally needed, because yeah, there are some interaction between the stakeholders, and finally when the strategic decisions are made, then the legal alignment would be required as well. And I finally, to conclude, it's what I tried to say. It's not about to criticize. Again, yes, I do strongly believe Lithuania made a lot of things in a very good way. You have all elements, but there's something in between what is missing, and maybe now is the time to think about the really needed steps in order to increase the efficiency and make a good decision for next year, because we in Poland maybe so again, we have in Poland a lot of things to change. So that's no doubt. We have some good technology in place, yes, but as a system, we need to have a lot of adjustments. And Mr. Meissner said, talk about the cost for household. He mentioned €290 per family, per household. Today in Poland, depends on the location, we are really close to this level. We have, because of some mistakes in legislation, in the operational, today the cost increased in Poland up to 200 to €250 per household if you count it. So we are really close to the Norwegian level, I could say, but we are far from this efficiency which they are able today achieve. Thank you very much for your attention, Achu, and I am open for potential questions if there are some.
Okay, thank you, Mariusz, for this informative presentation. If you have questions, raise the hand or write it in the conversation section. I can see no question. So maybe it was informative enough, or we left some open questions that, oh, Rudolf, okay. Rudolf, we cannot hear you.
Tom, I have not a question but a comment. There has been talked about financing and costs and so on. You must keep in mind what I said in the beginning of my lecture, that in Norway all the waste management is fully paid by the inhabitants. That means also the investment in this waste sorting plant is paid by the inhabitants fully. In Lithuania, I will guess you can get lots of money from the EU as a subsidy for the investment in such plants. This is not possible in Norway. So when I say it costs so much, in our case, the costs may be lower, definitively lower in Lithuania, because you will get some subsidies from the EU for the investments. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Algirdas.
Thank you, Marius, for the presentation. Maybe you tell more information about producers' responsibility in Poland and cooperation, regional waste management centers and municipalities, and financing packaging stream.
Yeah, do we have the next few hours for this? Okay, very shortly. Andy Grant already mentioned that Poland has very similar system like UK. You know, what happens today, the PROs, because we have several PROs in Poland, if they only need to confirm the recycling rates. If they are able to buy these documents for recycling confirmation on the market, if it's available, then they can show that they achieve the targets. So, and this leads to the situation that the currently support from the financing from the organization in Poland is between, I think, between few to 10-15 euro to different packaging material. So it's we do not have dual system like you in Lithuania. So the all collected waste streams, including packaging, are under the municipal responsibility. And the gate fees in Poland, at the facilities similar to yours, RATS facilities are today between 65-70 euro to 90-100 plus euro as a gate fee. That's the range in Poland.
And the second question, we see that very small financing from producers in Poland, but a lot of investments, a lot of new companies, a lot of new sorting lines now building and working. Why in Lithuania we have good, I think, better producer responsibility, but nothing. 10 years we no one recycling company built, no one sorting line. Why is so big differences?
I think one of the point is the scale, and the second is you have good statistic as well. You have good statistics. So if it's, it's if the statistics is good, why you should do it? So, we need to. Yes, I think in a lot of cases the statistics doesn't reflect the true. That's the problem. And we need to start to see this as it is. So it's very easy. Go to the first packaging sorting plant in Poland or Lithuania, make a one-day mass balance, and you will see what is the material which is sorted out. This is very easy. One day, go do the same with the MBTs, do the same, and you will see what is the material. So invite the representative from the Environment Ministry, from the Statistic Office, and make the one-day trial. And you simply show, hey guys, from the packaging which we have, from the 100 ton which we treat per day, we sort out 30 ton. That's a 30 ton material which is sorted out, maybe 40, and not more. That's the truth. And the same in your case, if you know what you are able with this 5-10 to people in the sorting cabin, what you are able to sort out, this is the same. So it's very easy to really check in one case or case by case what is doable. The problem is when you start to collect the numbers across the country.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have another question? Well, okay. Okay, Marius, thank you. Thank you for your time. Moving forward, today we talked a lot about the EPR, or extended producer's responsibility, about the statistics and the numbers. Our last environmental minister told officially that our statistics really good, leading in Europe together with Bulgaria and Cyprus. So you can imagine what kind of statistics we have. So, but we all together know that and share in the same sense. Okay, the next representative will be speaking about the EPR. So it's a representative director from Lithuania Green Dot, Kęstutis Pocius. The word is yours, Kęstutis.
Thank you very much, Andrius. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Marius. It was very interesting to hear from you, and I liked your word that all is doable. Just we need to work together. And what about the statistic in Lithuania? Well, during my presentation, I will show you that the statistic it's not really so nice as you think. So let's go forward with my presentation. Do you see my presentation?
Yes, yes.
All right. Okay, let's go forward. Yes, so let's begin from the waste management results. So what do we have with packaging? As we see from 2015, we have increasing of collection of packaging waste in total in Lithuania for the glass and for the light packaging wastes. And its mostly the reason is the development of container infrastructure. We developed individual houses containers, and also there are something about 9,000 collective containers. So for the result, we increased approximately 15% per year from 2015 to 2020. But is it good enough, these results? What do we see from our statistics? So in this part, just a moment. Yeah, here you see how many tons in total we released to the market during the year. And this is the official data from 2019. And we see that this part shows how many we have from deposit system. The green one shows how much we have the packaging released to the market, the packaging for use for our needs, our own needs. It means for the producer's needs. And this light green shows how many packaging was released to the market, which is covered by organizations as PRIO in Lithuania. So in total, the recycling and recovery, we have 60%, but in total. But what do we have the recycle level in the part of EPR scheme packaging? So we have two streams. So one of the stream is a container system. We have a household waste system and commercial. So in the commercial system, we have something around approximately 95% of recycling. So it's a high percentage. And in the household, we have only 32% of collection and recycling and using for energy recovery. So in fact, we have low level of waste collected in the household waste system, separated collection, and all other part goes to the MBT plants, and so we are losing this packaging. So what do we see from the result in the containers of packaging? We see a very high level of contamination. And for example, in individual containers, we see 45.7% of contamination with other wastes in the packaging containers. And in the collective containers, we see even more, so 57% of contamination of residual wastes. So it's very high level, and we are thinking how to work with that. So those were the results, and we see what are the strategic European Union objectives, and as well as other participants were talking. We are looking for the directives. What are the directives tell about? So we have waste directive, we have packaging directive, and directive on single-use plastic, and they're talking about the targets. And we see that the targets goes up and up, and from 2025 it will be mainly 55% recycling from all the municipal wastes, and 60% in 2030 and 65% in 2035. But those are the recycle percentages targets for all recyclables, and we have the specific targets from the packaging directive. What is from 2025, it will be 65% total recycling of packaging wastes from the release to the market, and 70% from the 2030. It's very high levels, and we need to consider very strictly those targets. What are the results of the collection and recycling by the different type of packaging in Lithuania? So in those, we can see different collection results by the packaging type. So the glass, the paper, plastic, PET, metal, combined packaging, wood, and others. So we see released to the market in tons per year by different packaging, and we have the absolute result from the collection in the municipalities. And here we see the existing target and the target for 2025 and 30. So for the glass, we have the result 48% of collection and recycling now. And for the paper, we have extremely low level of collection, so it's only 22%. So this is where we need to be better. I think the reason is mostly that now the collection, we proceed in the same container for plastic and for the paper, and we are losing the quality of paper and the amount of paper recycled, which is collected in the household wastes. For the plastic, we have 42%, for the PET 25%, for the metal 13%, for combined 22% and 22%. So here we see a big challenge, what we need to do to achieve the targets for European Union. And what do we need to do? First of all, we need to, well, remember what is it, the responsibility for producers. And as well, all we know that producers are responsible for collection and recycling of packaging. And first of all, what is the most important? The producers need to understand that the material which is chosen for the packaging is directly connected with subsidies what should be covered by producers. And from here we see the structure and the connection between the cost of waste management system, which consists from the cost of collection, cost of sorting, and cost of use for energy recovery, and the revenue from secondary raw materials. So as much as the material will be more recyclable, which is released to the market, as lower subsidy will be needed from the producers. And it's all directly connected. And we see the connection among the producers, consumers, and waste management companies. And the EPR scheme, the organizations are responsible for those connections. And what do we need to do in future and in close future? So first of all, we need to have new legislation, because we need to have direct connection with waste collection companies and direct connection with sort companies and energy recovery companies and recyclers. Because for this moment, we have the contracts only with the waste collection companies, and waste collection companies under them has the contracts with sorting companies and recyclers. So this is the answer why we don't have the long-term investments from the sorters and from the recyclers, because all of them needs long-term contracts, and long-term contracts should be signed by organizations and waste management companies. So this is where we go to the next stage. So the first objective, we need to have the balance of the system by update legal framework. So the main thing what we need to do. After that, we need to promote the producers to use more recyclable packaging. And this is the most advantages, because we have the new legislation that from the 2022 we will have new taxes on non-recyclable packaging, and it will be very much higher than it is now. So it will be the first motivation for producers to use more recyclables. And the responsibility of the organizations, it will be to get more collection from the household wastes. The main strategic thing is to improve primary sorting. And as well as now we have only 32% of primary sorting in household wastes. So we need to have better understanding in with inhabitants that they need to sort more at home. And it's not only all about learning, it's also about economical motivation. In principle, what is in the Belgium system, the very good economic situation, economical motivation for inhabitants. So that's what we need to have also in Lithuania. And the fourth one, it's increase the efficiency of waste system. And in the result, we believe that we'll achieve objectives of the circular economy, and also we'll have minimum subsidy from producers and importers, what is it possible. And also the main criteria to achieve the targets, the strategic targets, this is the partnership with producers and importers, with EU Green Dots organization across the Europe, also the partnership with the social partners, municipalities, waste management companies, and as well the LT legislative institutions. So this is all about the partnership. And as Mariusz told, I believe that all is doable. Just we need to work together, and we need to cooperate. And thanks a lot for this this seminar, this conference. It's very important and very interesting, and it gets closer, all of us, and we need to work together to achieve the targets of circular economy. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Kęstutis, for your presentation. Do we have questions? I can't see any. Oh, I see you raised hand. Algirdas.
Okay, thank you, Kęstutis, for participation and presentation. And you told us long-time contracts with companies, waste management. How do you think, in what way it will be?
Thank you for the question, Algirdas. The first thing what we need to do, as well as I told before, we need to balance the system by the legal frame, and the legislation need to be changed because now we don't have the possibility to select the waste sorter company and waste recycling company by ourselves. It should be done by municipalities, and it's a bit complicated. So the main thing what should be done, so the legislation should be changed that we could select the companies by ourselves. I mean by the organizations who are in charge of that, and they could sign the long-term contracts with the recyclers and with sorting companies.
Algirdas, we cannot hear you.
The second question, Marius said that it's a need in Lithuania cooperation between regions and to make the bigger market, bigger amount of waste in one place. What do you think in this case, and how it's operate?
Do you mean the cooperation between the regions in Lithuania, or the cooperation between the other countries?
Inside Lithuania.
For sure, it's needed, the cooperation, because Lithuania, it's not so big country, and there is no so a lot of wastes, and I'm sure that there is needed the cooperation between the regions, and to have the synergy and to have the best results, which is possible.
Marius, your question.
Yeah, Kęstutis, hi. Do you have any kind of plans how to increase the motivation for the MBTs to sort out the material, as we heard from Mr. Meissner also, you know, because I think without this, nobody, also these MBTs, you know, if they, first of all, because part of the stream is the packaging, the part is under DRS, then and they do to cover the investment, they need to have a long-term perspective as well. So, and with only little amount of donation, they are not able to invest. So nobody will invest. So do you have any plans, any ideas how to change this situation?
Well, as well as it's all connected, the MBTs and also the separate collection systems, and it all very depends how many packaging will be collected from the separate collection. And for example, if the separate collection will increase very significantly, so there will not be left packaging in the MBTs. But anyway, it always there will be the packaging in MBTs, and for sure it will be needed the decisions with MBT plans. We don't have now the exact plan, but we will need to cooperate together with MBT plans, as also as well as I saw how it is done in Norway. It's very interesting, and I believe the cooperation with the MBTs, it's also needed in Lithuania for sure.
Okay, we have another question, Kęstutis. It's in the chat section. You can read it.
Do organizations willingly pay for extracted materials from the municipal waste flows? Yes, now we also are paying for the materials which is sorted from the MBT plants, and yes, we are doing now it.
Okay, I can see no more questions, so thank you, Kęstutis. You can now switch off the presentation.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, so left only one speaker in the last presentation. So Mr. Algirdas Reipas, the time is yours.
You see my presentation?
Yes, we are going very fast through the.
Yes. Okay. My presentation it's looked very hard. Achieving of goals and rise of leadership. Today we listen a lot of information about statistics, about leaders, and now we understand that Lithuania, we told like about leader of waste management in European Union, and I think that hardly anymore in Lithuania seriously think about achieving the goals of the circular economy. It is only a distant future in which hardly anymore see or will have a role to play. Usually we will perceive this as a desire for the more beautiful Lithuania, the absorption of European money, and the opportunity to have a job. But I think if we act consistently, recently, and simply, it is really easy to and realistically achievable. Our association every year made a statistic report, and you can find this report in our internet site. And we try to realistically calculate how many waste we collected in municipality systems. And we have situations that in Lithuania, different institutions in different way to calculate it, how many waste we sorted and composted or recycled. We calculated and how much communal waste households at home composted, because a lot of areas in Lithuania is rural places, and people at home composted, and we don't collect it, green or food waste, and don't plan to collect this waste in the future. Of course, we collected data from municipalities and from centers how many waste we collect, not recycled, but collected. And it's about 200,000 tons, but it's was not packaging it and other recyclables in communal stream. And if it's true information from Green Dot that half of collected packaging is pollutions, it means that not so much communal waste be recycled. And of course, a lot of waste now we heated or used to energy producing, about 377,000. When Lithuania built MBTs and we sorted biological part from the municipal waste and composted or treated, and all amount of this waste is going like recyclable. It's about 300,000, and landfill it about 280,000 tons. And now total, we calculated that in our methodical calculations, about 52% of municipal waste was recycled, and only 21% was disposed of in the landfills. And of course, it is one of the best results in European Union. terms of waste management, Lithuania has significantly improved with the construction of mechanical and biological treatment facilities, which allowed additional processing about 20,000 tons of packaging and secondary ref materials, and composting about 300,000 tons of biomass. And this process is still considered recycling. Yes, it's but we should be very critical of the current. There are very serious doubts about the transparency of accounting and statistics. The plastic waste incinerated in cement and plants is treated as recycled, and the high volume of the composting after sorting mixed waste, mixed municipal waste, doesn't not create any products. And we calculated what recycled rates we have now, and what will be in the future if the same results we calculated with new methodology. And you see that now we recycled rate have 52%, but is only a collection of waste. We don't think it stays like that. And if we in future calculated that only 150,000 ton is recycled, we collected more, but you see that a lot of in the sorting process and recycling process, a lot of packaging can stay like waste. If we composted the same green municipal centers or households, we recycled only 162,000 tons. And now we collected food waste only about 7,000 tons, and is recycled less. And of course, it's composted after the after mechanical sorting. It's only 0, and in total we recycled together with composting only 300,000. It means that really now our recycling rate only 24%. What possibilities we have, and what needs that really what targets we can achieve? I think we can sort it 250,000 tons of packaging and recyclables, and we can collect it and compost it more green waste. And what's need for Lithuania? It's start to sort it and collect it food waste. And in our in Alytus region, we see that it's have very big impact in sorting, and for sorting and other waste, not only food but and recyclables. And realistic, I think in Lithuania collected 120,000 ton food waste, and of course 0 after the mechanical treatment, and we can recycle 580,000 tons communal waste. But you see that I write less total communal waste, because now with new directive we calculated like communal waste and building materials, and in future I think it's don't include in communal waste stream. Now we calculated like communal stream. It's different metals who buy in special places, and it's about 260,000 tons. And of course, we have not transparent system of packaging, and the same waste looked in statistic like recycled and left into mixed waste. And I think that really now we have in stream no more than 1 million of ton communal waste, and really we can achieve 51% of recycle rate in Lithuania. We have a big discussion about packaging waste, how many packaging we have in stream, and how we collect it, and we together with EPA this year calculated how many waste left in communal, municipal, mixed waste. It's about 140,000 tons. We collected in communal stream about 43,000, and our needs it's 46, and deposit system. It means that total it's 243,000 tons. It's really amount what we have and what producers declared. But I think that not all the packaging waste declared now, and we have problems that we achieve all targets of the packaging, and a lot of packaging stay in mixed waste, and nobody financing the stream. And here, of course, we have very big problem with heating, and have very high prices for inhabitants. This year we have target to recycle half of all materials what we have in communal stream, and together with Eco Consultacijos company, we tried to really calculate it in our region what is targets we achieved, and because we don't have state methodology how it's calculated, we try to censor to that, and you see how much we generated materials, it's and packaging and raw materials, and how we recycled, how many used for energy, and how landfilled. And you see that it's very big rates. I don't, but it's now with our statistic, and we waiting all collected communal packaging and raw material stream, and but this statistic what we now calculated and have, it's very high. Of course, food. Alytus region is first in Lithuania start to collect the food waste, and after when we visit Stavanger region, and and see very good results, we start to believe in that, and maybe we collected a lot of mushrooms in forest and start to collect it and food waste. Yeah, it's not so nice, but it's really collected food waste from the big houses, from the big houses of the cities, and we tried to make photo what it is. It's about 10% of all the stream. It's plastic. It's looked like a lot of plastics, but collection food waste. It's in multi-building stories. It's very complicated, and we can to collect food waste in not in bags. Our producers or importers, big markets, don't agree to give for the people's paper bags for the foods and of course for food waste collection, and a lot of municipalities and afraid collection of food waste, and Ministry of Environment made investigation about prices waste collection in Lithuania, and consultants calculated that it's more higher than now, and a lot of big municipalities decided not sorted and collected food waste. And in one municipality, I want to that you looked what is prices and what is collection cost we have in Varėna municipality, and now we have new tenders and new prices, and we can look to two scenarios. The scenarios without food collection. Before that, we 17 times collected mixed municipal waste in houses, 46 times in cities, and price for one household we have 13 euros per year. And now with food collection, we 12 times collected municipal mixed waste and 17 times of food waste in individual houses, and in multi-bulk stores it's 104 times frequency of mixed waste, and 552 kitchen and food waste. And price for collection cost, we have 12 and 49. It's the same, I think, that before, and less small, but food collection is €1.72. We see that it's collection price, it's not growing, and the same tendency in all municipalities. And I think that afraid of collection food growing prices for inhabitants. It's not true. And we calculated all prices of waste management in this municipality, and how many municipal mixed waste we collected without food collection, and how many waste we now collected with food collection. It's less 900 tons. We collected 400 tons food waste. It means that if we collected 1 ton of food waste, 2 times bigger amount of mixed waste. Collection cost of 1 ton is the same, but and processing mixed municipal waste is the same, but price of processing food waste is only 47 euros per ton, and you see that overall cost reduction for 1 municipality per year, we have 100,000 euros. It's a big differences, and I think that our people feel that, and we have bigger fees, bigger taxes for landfilling, and growing prices of waste heating, but we stay in the same level of fees in municipality. And we think about new waste collection system in our region with new circular economic targets. And today you see that the same collection system exists in Stavanger, and we think that it's need to deposit for drink packagings and to divide it, and including that strong spirits, and because a lot of glass of strong drinks, it's not sorting, and about 40,000 tons of this glass stay now in landfills, and it's this glass contaminated composting materials, and we plan to separate collection to waste, including food waste, and one of course we collected food waste in containers, not in bags but in containers, and some green waste people put in the same containers. We plan to separate collection of paper and cardboard waste, not together with other packaging, not with other plastic materials, because it's contaminated paper, and we see that it's in future it's not a good decision like now that we collected together paper and plastic, and because plastic in plastic we packed food materials, and they contaminated plastic, and when we together sorted and collected paper and plastic, it's contaminated, and paper too. And we think that glass collection is stay, and because in circular foods packaged in the glass material. And we plan that metals and plastics we collected together with municipal mixed waste and sorted in our MBT plants. A lot of specialists in Lithuania think that mechanical sorting is don't have any results, but I think that it's not true. And now, really, in our now situation, separate we from all stream of mixed communal waste, separate sorted 21,000 ton of packaging and secondary raw materials, and total cost of if all operation mechanical sorting cost we have 9 million euros. It means that for 1 ton we have 441 euro per ton, but in deposit system its price is 2 or 3 times more, and we start plastic packaging and metal packaging together with mixed waste, and we see now in our region mixed waste that stay dry and not contaminated plastic from food materials. It's really a good decision in future to modernize mechanical sorting line and sorted plastic and other materials from the mixed waste. Of course, the people sorted, it's maybe need to economical impact, and if in individual house it's more easier, and how much we put and emptied in every household, but in big houses it's very difficult. And now we made experiment in Birštonas municipality, where we calculated how many times people open the mixed waste container and say can pay per one emptying for one opening this container. But we have in this time results that in 6 months half of total population of the flats never opened a container and did not dispose of mixed municipal waste. It's crazy, but it's true, and we don't understand what is can happen, but we see that it's increasing contamination of secondary materials and dumping of waste near containers. And I think that in future it's need to really waiting what we have. People try to pay less, but contamination of secondary materials or pollution in near containers or in green areas, it's to stay much more. But we plan to continue working with people, providing information, and hope that experiment will become a real improvement in waste sorting. You know that in all Lithuania now built new container sites, and it's big impact in all sorting system in Lithuania, and the same was other containers we have in all Lithuania, and you see that in our region, the same container and for food waste. And I say that people in big houses, very good sorted food waste. It's very good. But it's contaminated with plastic. And I think it's possible to compost it only in dry method, but not in wet. And about money, we are the leaders. Lithuania is a leader in European Union, and what the cost will be in the future, and what cost we have, because we have two streams of financing communal waste. It's importers and producers responsibility and municipal fees. And we'll calculate it that if now we have that deposit system 25 million, and other importers, 3 organizations now paid, and all amount of financing now it's 45 million euros, and municipals collected from the inhabitants about 89 million euros fees. It's total, it's cost 100 million euros. If we want to achieve targets of circular economy, it's expenses of producers and importers need to grow for 81 million euros, and municipal it's less the same, I think, about 11 million is less, and total is 159 million euro. I think that it's not big growing of the expenses, prices, and if we want to achieve 61% of target of recycling in Lithuania, it's about 27 million euros more than now. Yes, and of course now in Lithuania we have two biggest problems. It's plastic, because now we collected plastic and put it in other countries, and they heat it in Poland or in Latvia, and he heat it in cement industry, but it's not recycled. And I don't know what made this picture near the same, but it's a very good idea, because with tires now it's a big problem, and this collection in the big bulky waste site with financing of the sites, and now it's need to make agreements between producers, between municipalities and regional waste management centers, and one of them wanted to pay less, other much more, and conflicts, and we don't have decisions in this time how it's regulated, that real cooperation that's started, and we don't have this waste not treated. Okay, thank you for you, and I think that modern waste management system is not an end in itself. It's also a growth society as a whole, and increase its competitiveness and in today's world, and gives us confidence that we, as part of Europe, will be able to ensure a safe and dignified life of our citizens. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Algirdas. I see in the chat section, Marius wrote a question. Can you read it? Do you see it, Algirdas? In the chat section.
I don't know. Please read the question.
All right. Is it legally possible to give up the separate collection of plastic and metals, yellow bag, or adjustment in law would be required?
It's or it's possible to collect together? I don't listen because
it's the same situation like in he suggests that we can do it like in Norway to avoid additional bin and collect it together. Is it possible, or we have to change something in Lithuania's legal system?
In our with our regulation now it's need to different system collection, because in our act to said that municipalities responsibility to give for inhabitants containers for separate collection of plastic, metal, and impossible to collect it together with mixed waste.
Okay, I see a raised hand. So Anna, you can ask the question.
Hello, I would like to only ask one question. This 150 you have mentioned are money needed for the for reaching the targets. This is one-time investment, or this is yearly maintaining of the system?
It's maintaining of all systems.
Okay.
Per year, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Do we have more questions? I can't see. So I guess we're done. Okay, so thank you for all the participants who today was with us, especially for the speakers who prepared the presentations. We had a good and nice discussion, and I guess that Algirdas would like to finish the conference. So Algirdas, the word is yours.
Thank you much more and for all of you, and special thank you for Marius Raisa, and he helped for us to make this conference, and speakers from other countries, and for cooperation, and we hasn't the possibility to meet together and talk about waste management, and I hope that after this conference we either understand our future, our development in the waste management, and okay, Merry Christmas and Good New Year's.
Bye.
Bye.